Hi, hello, hello. Welcome to Clary Sage Day. Here are 1, 2, 3 beautiful Clary Sage plants. Clary Sage, hello everybody, is in the mint family, the Lamiaceae family, and I'm pleased to say that that's in the still right now. I got it from 2 lovely women who I'll talk about a little bit later once we get to the still. The fun thing is I've distilled Clary Sage a couple times before, and usually it's around the 4th of July. Today is July 3rd, and that's pretty exciting. Clary Sage, so it is, yes, we talked about the family. Like many of the herbs or herbs, it likes lean soil, does not like to be pampered. It won't produce as much essential oil if it's pampered. And mine got overshadowed last year, well this year. I like to let them go to seed, but the asters are very happy this year. The deer aren't eating them as much because it's protected a lot by this Melissa back here. That's my theory. And Melissa's so happy. We'll talk about her next week. So these guys were going to seed in I saw little plants, but they didn't make it because the asters were so happy, and then I didn't transplant them. So kaput. So I bought these, and they'll bloom next year. These are known to be biennials, so they'll set up the first year and really store their reserves, and then the second year they will bloom. Sometimes they will last longer depending on the climate and the location. They can be perennials as well. When we're talking about the herb, it's very oily. So I just pulled this leaf off because it's an unhappy looking leaf, and it's still a little oily. And like many sages, it has that muskiness, but Clary Sage is a little different because there's an animalic, musky sensuality to it. And it's just known to work and be a very euphoric herb. Often incorporated into wines. My belief is it was introduced to Germany and incorporated in wines. It's known to enhance intoxication. So it's really, like most aromatics, works on the neuroendocrine system, but this one is poignant in its activity to be very heady, if you will. So I wish we had some flowers to look at, but we don't. But it is an oily plant. If we saw the stalks here, you'd just see it's covered with hairs, and a lot of the oils are in the flowering tops. This would not be distilled to get the essential oil or work with the hydrosol. We'd just want to cut back the flower a little bit. Oh, look, I still have the marker, Clary Sage. Very gorgeous plant. So let's take a walk to the garage because we can. And we'll say goodbye to Melissa. Hoping to spend time with Melissa next week. Excuse me. So walk with me, talk with me. As we're walking to the garage, last year my parents were visiting, and it was Clary Sage time, and it was July 4th. And I remember my mom just feeling so calm and so happy with the Clary Sage, because the garage, just the whole atmosphere becomes perfumed by the aromatic molecules because that's their nature. And it was just memorable. It is nice to distill with other people. It's also nice to distill alone. It is a process. You can't really leave your still, so you always have to think about things that can go wrong. So here we are in my driveway. Let's see, there was a yarrow plant. We'll say hi to yarrow. There's a yarrow plant hanging out. And here we are. Here's yarrow. Another yarrow plant, another fighter kind of hanging out with me in the driveway. I think you can see that, right? Yarrow. So here is the garage with the still. I'm gonna hang out, whoops, I have this long microphone thing. So you can see that's the still. This is the bigger still. I'm feeding it with listen to me, I'm feeding it. There's a propane tank, there's the gas source, copper alembic still, and then here's our beautiful hydrosol that we're collecting. So this has been going on for quite a few, maybe 3 hours now. So what's plant talk? So the plant material was given to me by April Alexander, who's a beautiful herbalist out here. And then she procured the beautiful Clary Sage from Herrick's Lane Farm, which is really close by here, all organic, gorgeous, gorgeous grower, Nicole, with her beautiful daughter, and who I've met once, and her beautiful dog. Very, very awesome people. So I want to acknowledge that. I couldn't do any this year. Then April contacted me. She's like, I really was like thinking about the Clary Sage hydrosol you had last year, and I'm like, can we make that happen? I was like, yes. And you know how things work out when they need to, because I couldn't distill it. And next year I will have my own plants. But it's always nice to share with other people. So Clary Sage, if you could go and find a picture of Clary Sage and you see the way it grows, it is reminiscent of a woman's reproductive system. And not to say it's not beautiful for men, but this is known to be for hundreds of years to work with balancing our hormones as women, all stages of life. Estrogen deficient or excess, it's known to be a balancer, like many herbs are. I think we get scared, I'll speak for myself too, we get scared when someone has like an estrogen dependent issue, and then you hear that we have this phytotherapy can come in and help, and it's hard not to be afraid to think, because you don't want to hurt somebody, but when in doubt, plants can be a little more gentle than other actions we choose to take. So it's very reminiscent of fallopian tubes, and it's pink and feminine. And I love when I get to introduce this oil to other people. Like, there's many different expressions people have. Some people like, it smells like tea, and someone's like, it's a sexy woman. And then you get like, I'll never forget one summer, it was July, I was teaching a certification class, and I brought the plant material with me in a paper bag, and we were smelling the Clary Sage, and the room was on fire. Half the group was like, oh my God, and so they took the bag from the other person, they put in their head in it, and the energy was just so big and heavy and sensual. And that is Clary Sage. Clary Sage is known to work on all levels. If you want to think as a tea, more gently as a tincture, working with the hydrosol, which I love, especially as a face mist, face balancer, like for facial care, and incorporating it into creams and in the bath, and of course the essential oil. There's many modes of application, but it's an amazing antispasmodic, working with the nervous system and smooth muscle tissue. Many oils do that, many aromatics do that. As an asthmatic, I actually had a terrible episode a few years ago. I didn't have a rescue inhaler, and I worked with that Clary Sage at like 3:30 in the morning to help me make it so I could breathe, and it worked. And it was very powerful. Just, I think of our friend Osha Root, who's in a different family, but a nice affinity for the spastic pain. I say Osha because I think of lungs. Osha is so beautiful for the lungs, Osha Root. So there's that antispasmodic. It's really great for, and I have some oils here to talk about, and then maybe we can talk about the distillation process a little bit. But so it's known for the woman's cramping, spasm, PMS, excess or deficient estrogen, balancing, very sensual and sexual and like heady and nerving. So it's like a classic antidepressant, helping just to bring a little joy and euphoria, maybe to the level I saw in that one class where it was like on fire. But that, it's like really, and the animalic smell. Like, I was reading a piece where it was like perfumers are looking for that, you want like that French, it was grown in Russia too, and that kind of corridor, and of course into the Mediterranean. You want that animalic smell that's a little off-putting, but a little sensual and a little dirty, and it's also a little green. And you're just kind of curious and like, I want to go there a little more. So let me pull out Clary Sage. Clary Sage. Salvia, sclarea. Clear, bright eye, many names for it, clear seeing. Because you get the floral, and there's always like a wet brightness to it. It is like a wet, oily plant. Even the hydrosol is oily. Oop, my condenser is running a little warmer than I want it to, but checking the flame. It's just happiness in a bottle, like a lot of the oils are. It's just calming. And because I'm thinking about it too, it's just a little sassy, it's a little sexy. For men and women. This could be really nice and like a musty, acting as like a middle note if you want to think of just a pure aromatic factor. And I'd like to think about sexuality, which is combined with women's health and men's health. And a lot of the oils that go well, pair well with Clary Sage. Let me see. I have my little box of oils here. I'll show you in my little box. This is my mom's box from when she was in high school. So balancing and thinking about women's health and balancing for cramping, aches and pains. Clary Sage with lavender is classic. Marjoram for bringing some of that. It's great for spastic pain. But bringing a little, I think, childhood innocence and sweetness to geranium is quite always a classic. And bring it in with some rose. And making a beautiful like PMS or menstrual cramping, aches and pains massage blend. Also in the delivery room, it's known as a parturient, where it helps to bring forth the baby to help with the uterine contractions. This still is being very talkative now. That's because of the pressure and the air flow with the flow of the still. So this blends nice with, I said, the rose, geranium, for really thinking about cramping and having like a really, I'll say, serious blend. You were being really, you know what, because that temperature just went up quite a bit on the condenser. Women's cramping and balancing, PMS, fennel, Clary Sage, and tarragon for cramping would be quite lovely. When you're in the pre and during, and maybe you'd round that out with a little citrus. For anxiety and mood, I would maybe put neroli with that. And here's a neroli my friend Becky is sharing with me. For mood as well, for just in general. But yeah, that tarragon, fennel, and clary would be lovely, mixed, of course, lavender. But mood, neroli, petite grain, Clary Sage. I have red mandarin. I really wanted Melissa. For really bringing that joy and euphoric joy and kind of a carefree feeling of everything's gonna be okay. Like, this is good. I can do this. So beautiful. Don't want to mess things up. I guess that's why you label your caps, right? Melissa, cap. Another for mood too. Any of the citruses, there's bergamot, patchouli, for bringing a real sensual blend. Patchouli, rose. We can't forget ylang-ylang and some Clary Sage. If you want to get some groove on going in there. Oh my gosh, let's see. So Ylang Ylang Patchouli, and I'm missing Clary. Sauvage. I'll put that in a massage blend with your partner. Patchouli, Clary Sage, Ylang Ylang Rose. And some Damiana. You'll be on fire, I swear. So sensual and deep and flowing. So I'm going to just put these to the side. I'm going to change the still water because it's getting very squeaky. The condenser. Whoops, you're seeing my garage here. So I'm just going to do this because I can. And I'm actually going to pause. Now I'll just keep it on. Water is too hot. And the pump fell sideways. This is why you can't leave the still. So this is part of the distillation process, especially if you don't have a formal setup with like steam. So this is water driven. I'm doing a hydro distillation with the Clary Sage. I can't wait to have the hydrosol. Here, you see it dripping out. My flame's still good. Yeah, this has got way too hot. And the pump fell. I'm gonna show you that. You can see in there the pump tipped over. So it was jeopardizing the airflow, so you can hear that. It was not happy. So I'm gonna continue talking about sensuality. There's a poem I'd like to share, but this is kind of fun and dynamic, right? Unscripted. I prepare a little bit for these, but you don't know what's gonna happen. But very nice. Got a little hot. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I don't feel, by the way, terrible that I'm using the water so much because I use it, the water to then water the plants. So here we go, back to our little station. So that's, here you can, still in the background. So Clary Sage, yes, great for spastic spasms of all kinds, think asthma, uterine, sensuality, supporting sensual health, endocrine health, and just the euphoria of it. And it is known to increase the effects, intoxication. Whoops. See, this is so dynamic. Here, let's just go around this way. This is why you have to focus, because now this is going in there. My overflow is overflowing. Very good. So Clary Sage. Never a dull moment. So, personality-wise, Clary, just super sensual and sexual, supportive, a happy spot. And a little goes a long way, I find, especially with the essential oil. But drinking the hydrosol medicinally, not just like taking it as a beverage, you dilute it, of course, but sipping on it, it's just clarifying and clearing and bright. And I'm not tasting it right now, but I will later. So here's a poem by Emily Dickinson. Come slowly, Eden. So if you can, you might want to find this poem and maybe get a bottle of Clary Sage and jasmine or Ylang Ylang, rose, patchouli, yeah, Clary, just, and smell that and read this poem. Come slowly, Eden, lips unused to thee, bashful, sip thy jasmines as the fainting bee. I said that wrong, jessamines. Jessamines, that's a new word. Let's start over again. Come slowly, Eden, lips unused to thee, bashful, Sip thy jessamines as the fainting bee, reaching late his flower, round her chamber hums, counts his nectars, enters, and is lost in balms. So jessamines or jessamines is jasmine. So sipping the nectar of jasmine and that raw sensuality, thanks to Emily Dickinson, of just sexuality of flowers. And Clary Sage is the flowering tops we work with, and there is that summertime carefree sun, oily, sweaty animal beautiness of Clary Sage. So this plant talk was a little different. I prepped the plant material yesterday. It was picked 2 days ago. But I hope this was interesting, and hopefully we'll do another Clary Sage some other time. But I hope you love the Clary Sage. I hope you have a fabulous summer. Enjoy your sexuality and your sensuality, and love yourself, love the plants, love everything, love the sun, the moon. We're near the full moon too, by the way. So talk about super sexual, and abundance and fullness. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.